Hey guys, welcome to my live. Sorry I'm coming in about 2 minutes late, but Diego just went to his little spot, his little bed. He's still watching me, but we're gonna go for it. So I'm so excited. This live is about how to not lose your shit when plans go awry and you're a macro tracker. So when you are tracking macros, you are trying to be really good, and then all of a sudden plans change. Hey Alice, hey Becky, thanks for joining, ladies. So this is something that I talk a lot about with clients, and then when it was requested as a live, I was like, oh, I've never talked about it on social media. So super stoked to talk to you ladies about this. Alice, listen up. So basically, macro tracking is super easy if you stay at home and you prepare all your own meals and you never do anything. Of course it's easy because nothing happens. So also that's boring. Why would you work so hard to be looking so hot and feeling so good to never show it off? So we want you to enjoy your social life in moderation here, ladies. So it's also pretty easy to track macros if you're going out to eat and you have a game plan. You know where you're going. You can see the menu because you read the menu ahead of time, and then you plan, you're gonna have this, you're gonna factor in a glass of wine, and you have it all planned in. You go out, execute plan, also very easy. And then things can change. What if you have a plan and you get to that restaurant and they're on a really long wait? So your party's like, screw that, we're gonna go over here, and you're thinking, fuck, you had the whole thing planned. You were ready to eat there, not there, and now you don't know what to do. Hey Jesse, so glad you're joining. So you already have a game plan to eat out somewhere, and then all of a sudden you're not even going there, or God forbid, even worse, you have dinner planned at home. Maybe it's actually even a later dinner because you know what? You were really hungry earlier in the day, so you just reworkshop some things. Maybe you had a pretty big breakfast and lunch because you were hungry. Dinner, you're gonna try and keep a little bit on the lighter end, and then you have to go out to dinner. Maybe something really cool happened and you got to celebrate, and you're like, fuck, I don't have enough carbs to factor in wine. I don't know where we're going. How on earth am I going to manage shifting gears and going out to eat? Fuck. So this is what we're talking about. When you have to shift gears and pivot, go a different direction. You can do one of two things. You have two options in this scenario. This is the first choice you need to ask yourself. Hey Sinead, you have to ask yourself, one, can I realistically track macros and keep an eye on things without losing my mind? Or question two, or actually that's really mainly the only question. I'm sorry, you have one question. It's a yes or no question. Whoops. So one, can I track macros without losing my mind? Hey girl, if the answer is yeah, I can totally adjust on the fly, really not a big deal, I can get fairly close, cool, you can go that direction. If the answer is no, number two, no, I probably cannot track my macros without my anxiety going from like a 4 to an 800 on a scale to 10, and it's going to take over from the evening. I'm going to lose my mind trying to figure it out because you're frantically like logging in the backseat, trying to pull up the menu, trying to figure out if you can. You're going to lose your mind. So the question you have to ask is, realistically, can I track and feel good about it and it not take away from the evening? If the answer is yes, track. Go for it. That is fine. Usually that's an answer for more seasoned macro trackers, or if you have a decent number of calories just left for the day. Go for it. That's totally fine, especially if you were going to eat out anyway and the restaurant just changed. That's totally fine. So if you think you have a realistic likelihood of success, that is the only time that you need to then say, yes, I'm going to still try and stick to my plan as close as I can because I feel good about it. I mean, I've literally never been to a restaurant where like a grilled chicken salad has not been an option. Even if it's not on the menu, be like, can I get the garden salad, make it really big, add some grilled chicken? Oh my God, it's fine. So if you can go that direction and you feel good about it, do it. That's totally fine. If there is no shot in hell you're even going to get close. Maybe your significant other got home, they got a promotion. Or hell, maybe they quit their job that you've hated forever and it is a big deal and you just want to celebrate and you don't have the macros left for it. Celebrate. It's okay. You can make a conscious choice to say, I am not going to even try to meet my macros and go this direction instead, and say intentionally, I'm not going to track because I know it will take away from the evening and I have a very poor likelihood of success. Or maybe the restaurant you got invited to, it's tapas. Everyone's going to be splitting everything. You do not have control over what is going to be end up in front of you. Okay, that's fine. That is going to happen from time to time. So realistically, only try and track your macros at a restaurant if you can realistically keep a handle on it. Even if you want to be like, Lou, close enough, I'm just going to keep an eye on, as long as I hit like calories and I'm like prioritizing some protein, I'm gonna feel really good about this. Calories, protein, that's fine. Carbs and fats just fall where they may. That's better than not at all if you want to go that direction. What you don't want to do is, if let's say you're going to go get tapas or margaritas, or you're celebrating and you're trying to track your macros and you really don't have a shot at success, but you're going to try anyway because you're a perfectionist, you're super type A, like me, having got it wrong many times before. You go in there trying to be perfect, and the second you really can't be perfect and you get so frustrated that it's just not going well, you flip a switch and you enter bucket mode and you just go for it. Think about the amount of caloric damage you can do when you flip that switch into I'm just gonna go for it, as compared to if you intentionally just said, I'm just not gonna track. You can intentionally be mindful and go over macros, so maybe you end up being like 300 calories over or something, instead of trying to be perfect, it not going well, flipping into bucket mode, and then you literally are probably 1,000 calories over if you're slamming drinks, or you just go ham in the peanut butter jar when you get home, whatever. So the first thing you need to ask yourself is, realistically, can I track? If you realistically can track and you choose to do so, that's totally cool. Do that. If you realistically do not have a shot, what is this hair doing? Do not have a shot at all of success, don't try and then get pissed it didn't work, when if you took 2 steps back you realized it probably wouldn't work anyway. Then you just get to be mindful. Just order what sounds good, or order something that you just feel good about eating, and just be in the moment and enjoy it. Make the decision to set your environment up for success so you do not enter bucket mode. It is way easier to just say, I'm just not going to track, and be mindful, and maybe be a little bit over on calories or just a little bit under on protein. Oh, God forbid, the world will not end. Rather than just doing some serious devastation, waking up the next day just feeling like total trash because you didn't even enjoy your time because you were so stressed out about trying to be perfect with your macros that you didn't even hear what anyone was talking about, and then you just ate and drank your face off. It's happened because I've done it. I know it happened. So you have to be realistic. Don't try and track unless you have a shot at success. And even if you're like, I'm going to track, I can totally swing this, and then things just kind of start happening and you're like, oh God, this is not going well. Phone in the pocket, stop trying. If you stopping the tracking, if it's not going well, and just taking a deep breath to be mindful is always better than trying to go from perfect to fuck it. Always. That's what we're trying to avoid here. So when I'm talking about being mindful, think of like a hunger scale. Just because it's in front of you doesn't mean you need to eat it. Just because it doesn't have protein in it doesn't mean you can't eat it. If it sounds good, eat it. That's fine. Be mindful. If it is an appetizer, don't eat until you're full, because then when the meal comes, you're going to feel obligated to eat it anyway, then you're going to keep eating and you're going to be overly full. Appetizer is few bites. Stay hungry for your meal. So think of like hunger on a sliding scale. 0 is so hungry you're probably going to eat the people you're with. You wouldn't even feel bad. You're going full on cannibalism. You're too hungry. Don't let yourself get there because there's no off switch. 10 out of 10 is that like post-Thanksgiving full, you think like gravy's going to start pouring out your nose and you just don't really have room for even water. Too far. Don't get that full. So don't let yourself get starving. Stop before you're really full. So don't let yourself get below like a 3 or something on the hunger scale. So if you're like, okay, we're going to go to a restaurant, there's no way I can track, I'm already hungry, shit. Eat a little snack before you go. Intentionally be over. Wouldn't you rather have maybe like a hard-boiled egg, a little 100-calorie snack pack, a little bar or something, so you're like 100, 150 calories over intentionally, so when you get there, you're composed instead of just eating your face off? A much better choice. So don't let yourself get too hungry, and then just be mindful. Stop eating around like a 7 on the hunger scale to let your time let it sink in. If you're still hungry after a minute or two, take another couple bites. Enjoy, but be mindful and stay in the moment. That is a great place to be if you really cannot track macros. What we're really just trying to avoid is the spontaneous plans turning into bucket mode. That is the only bad thing that can happen. going off plan, going rogue, and not meeting your protein for one night, but really just being mindful is so superior than trying to be perfect and it taking away from the evening, and then you have regret and remorse after it maybe cascaded into some less than favorable behaviors. Something I do also want to touch on. I will start wrapping it up here shortly, so if you guys do have specific questions, start dropping them in the chat now. But whatever decision you make, and this is something that is really, really important. Whatever decision you make, realize that it is a decision you made, so don't complain about it. Don't opt to stick to your plan because you can and get your grilled chicken salad and then sit there and complain about your grilled chicken salad and just feel like, oh, this sucks. I can't have that. I can't have that. Don't turn this into a giant suck fest. Oh boy, all these screens just turned off. That's not good. Anyway, so don't turn it into a big complaining fest. If you're making the choice, if you're making the choice to eat healthy, no one around your table gives a rat's ass. Really, they don't. So if you choose to eat it, enjoy it. Don't choose it and then complain that you can't have any of that the whole time, because then you're just going to be really annoying to everyone around you and they might not invite you again. In the other direction, don't decide to not track your macros and the entire time you're there thinking, I shouldn't be eating this. I'm going over on my macros. This is so terrible. You want to just make your decision that you feel really good about and stick with that decision, knowing that you made it. It's totally fine. Just don't make everyone's life suck if you're making a decision that you really don't want to make. All right, question. What about going to barbecue? Bring your own sides? Just depends on the joint. Most barbecue places are going to have some like green beans, and I've never been to a place that you couldn't get even like a side salad. And barbecue's great. I usually, if I'm doing like a pulled chicken or a pulled pork, if I can get barbecue sauce on the side, I do, and I just get the sides that they have. So most barbecue places, they're going to have some like baked beans. There's going to be a lot of mac and cheese, fried okra. I'm in Nashville. I know what they have now. Hush puppies. Those are so good. But being mindful. Okay, friends barbecue at a house. That's a great idea. I always offer to bring, if I have control and I feel good about it, and they're not going to get pissed, I offer to bring even a full thing. I'm like, hey, you know what? Like, I just don't eat beef. That's just me. But I'm like, hey, can I bring a chicken to throw on the grill for the barbecue? What can I bring to help? I'll often bring, if it's the summer, I'll do like a watermelon, feta, balsamic, mint salad. I'll offer to bring sides that I enjoy to complement the barbecue to help the host. And I'm like, hey, can I bring some chicken to throw on the grill? Can I bring some salmon to throw on the grill? You know what? I'm going to bring some veggie kebabs. Then I bring enough for other people to have them too. I usually bring healthy options if I don't think they're going to be that many. Because one, I never put my nutrition choices on anyone else. If I want to eat something specific, it is no one's responsibility but my own. If I'm going to fly by the seat of my pants when I get there and they don't have anything that I would technically opt for, my fault. Gotta fly with the punches. But if you want to bring your own things, bring your own. I always opt to bring something healthy that I just enjoy, and I always bring enough for other people, because I turned into veggie tray girl when I lived in San Diego. Anytime we got together, I was veggie tray girl, and it was always the first thing gone because everyone loved my veggie trays because they were amazing. But if you bring, chicken kebabs, put a bunch of like onions on there, peppers, things like that, and you make enough for other people are probably going to start leaning toward that things too, because maybe no one wants to step up and say, hey, do you have a chicken instead of like a really like high fat beef product or something. And that's fine if you want to go the beef. I'm not knocking that. I'm just saying what I do. And some other people are going to actually lean probably towards some things that you brought, and they're really appreciative that there's maybe some healthy options there. They just didn't want to be the one to do it. So you can step up and kind of be that one. Does that answer your question, Sinead? Let me know. But yeah, I bring sides all the time. I even bring main courses from time to time, or, shrimp burgers, whatever. So yeah, let me know if that answered your question. And if you guys have any other questions, just let me know. But just to kind of summarize is, if you can realistically track, then it's okay. Okay, good, I answered your question. But if you can realistically track and you feel good about it, have at it. Go for it. If you were gonna eat out already, or if you have a decent amount of calories left, realistically, you can probably make it fly. If you cannot track without losing your shit, and you just know there's a very small likelihood of success, that is setting you up to go into fuck it mode if you go there trying to track. Just put your phone in your pocket, be mindful, enjoy the experience. God forbid, be under on protein for a day and over on fat. The world's gonna end. It won't. It's way better to be mindful and intentional about not tracking than try and track, flip the switch, eat everything in sight, and then feel like shit after. So that is the big thing. When you're being spontaneous, you just have to answer one question. Can I track and not lose my mind? The answer is yes, go for it. The answer is no, don't even try. That's the best place to be. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. If you came in late and you watched the recording, you have any questions, drop them in the comments, shoot me a DM. Pretty easy to get a hold of. So I hope you guys are having a great day, and I'll see you later. Oh, they changed it. How do you end this? There it is. Wow.